In this video, we're going to implement creating groups. On the backend side, we're going to create new group controller with request classes, group resource, and on the frontend side, we're going to create new group model component with 3 input fields for the name, for the auto approval, and for the descriptions and rules about the group. Now let's comment the changes, and I'm going to call this implement load more on posts. Now I'm going to close every tab. Let's open the browser, and I'm going to close most of the tabs here. And we're going to move forward. And in this case, I'm going to implement creating groups. So we're moving into a different kind of module right now. We're going to create groups, and we're going to implement the group page. And we're going to also invite the users by username or profile or email, inside the group. So how I am going to define the group. I'm going to put new group button right here. So here there will be all the groups I am part of. Including those groups inside which I am admin and the groups inside which I am simply joined. But if I'm admin inside the group, I should probably give some kind of indicator that you are an admin inside the group. But let's start step by step, and I'm going to open this my groups component. This is group list. Why do I have this twice? My groups and my groups here. I think one is for the mobile. I think, yes. Okay, now this is the my group's title for the desktop, and I'm gonna put this in a div. I'm gonna give this div flex, and let's give it also justify between. Then I'm gonna create button. Let's call this new group. Okay, we're gonna style this button, text small, BG indigo 500. On hover we're gonna have BG indigo 600. We're gonna give it text white, rounded, and padding y2, padding x3. It's a large button, so we're gonna just reduce the paddings. New group. Okay, now when I click on this, it should open the dialog, and there's going to be new group dialog. So we have to create that dialog. At the end of the project, we're going to deploy this on shared hosting using GitHub Actions. As a choice of hosting provider, we're going to use Hostinger, who is very kindly sponsoring this entire project. Hostinger is one of the best shared hosting providers out there. I discovered their services about 3 years ago, and I moved out all my PHP websites from VPS hosting of another hosting provider into Hostinger's shared hosting. There are several great benefits. Very fast and secure servers, full configuration on your PHP versions, extensions, and settings. Nice and modern user interface from which you can manage your domains, DNS, SSL certificates, emails, and much more. Integrated SSH and Git support. Affordable prices. And if you are not happy with their services, they also offer 30 days money-back guarantee. Their premium and business hosting includes free domain, support for 100 websites, unlimited number of certificates, and much more. For a full list of features, visit website hostinger.com/thecodeholic or click on the link in the video description. If you decide to grab hosting, during checkout, use coupon code TheCodeHolic, which will give you extra 10% off on already discounted price. And thank you, Hostinger, for sponsoring this entire project. Now, which modal we can copy and paste? I think post modal. Let's call this group modal. Hit the enter. Okay, let's take care of the markup. We're going to teleport this into body. Okay, we can leave these classes. We have the dialog title, and this is going to be we need this close button, but here we're going to have create new group. Let's just remove everything. And below we have these attach files and submit, which is for the posts. And I'm going to have submit but close as well. Which button style should I use for a close? I think this one. The comment is what I need to use for close. Post item. And these are the classes. So let me just copy this part, paste here, and instead of disclosure button, that should be just button. And here we'll just write cancel. It should be probably like close icon. Okay, I'm going to just remove it. I think X mark icon is what I need to use here. So this is how I'm going to do. But in terms of the JavaScript part, most of the things is something what we don't need. These extensions, basically, almost everything, right? We just need, let's remove everything step by step, form errors. We probably need form errors. We don't need anything related to attachment, so we can remove this. We don't accept post. We accept the modal value. This is going to be whether we're going to show the modal or not. For the group, we're going to have group name. Let's have a look. In the database, we have group name. We have group slug as well. We have about. We have auto approval. By default, it's going to be, let's give it true. Okay, we don't need anything else. This show basically is bound to modal value, so we can leave this. Computed attachments, show extension text, we can remove all that. We need this emit. We're looking at the, we're watching at the post, which we can remove. Close modal, we can leave this. Inside reset modal, we can remove this part, the attachments part. We just reset the form and form errors. And the submit, we can remove this attachments part. Okay, I'm going to remove everything from this submit for now. Let's remove this process errors. On attachment, choose, read file, remove file, undo file, everything. And let's remove this above side as well. Post user header, use page, classic editor, disclosure button, paperclip icon, and watch everything that is not used. This arrow U-turn left icon. Okay, we have this group modal, and let's use this group modal in the group list. Let's use this right here, group modal. We are going to create new variable, const ref, that should be show new group modal, which by default will be false. Let's import ref, and whenever we click on this button, new group button, we're going to set show new group modal equals true. Now let's click on this new group. Let's open developer tools. Okay, when it is collapsed, we need to do it differently. Let me put this below. Show new group modal. This is true, but we don't pass this new group modal. Okay, this submit has incorrect styles. This W full needs to be removed from it. This flex 1 needs to be removed from this button as well. We have cancel and submit. This one is rounded MD, this one is rounded LG. It should be MD as well. And we're going to put this on the right side, justify end. Okay, then we need content right here. So we will need the following fields: name, auto approval, and about. Name, it can be text input. We can search for text input, which we are using in a couple of places actually. Inside the profile page as well, on the login page as well. Let's just get this from the login page. Let's remove the ID. The type will be text, and that's going to be, oops, this is going to be name. Required autofocus, autocomplete can be removed. Okay, we need checkbox as well. I'm not sure if we have checkbox. Is it used anywhere? It is used in login, so I can copy this and put the checkbox here. This is going to be auto approval, and then we need about. I think this can be input text area. vModal form about. Okay, on this text area, we're going to give it W full. For this checkbox, Let's create label and enable auto approval. And we need some margins, margin bottom 3. And this should have also margin bottom 3. And we need the label on top of it, group name. Group name, enable auto approval. Let's put this in its own div with margin bottom 3, and we're going to have about group. That should be inside div, and that div should have margin bottom 3. Group name, enable auto approval, and about group. Okay, good. Let's actually print the form. When we type something in the name, my group name that is populated, when I tick off these changes into false, and if I provide something into description, this about is populated. So this is good. Now we need to listen to submit. Whenever we click on this, actually we have this click, it is going to call submit. Form, we're going to make post request to new route. We need to define new route, and I think we need to define even new controller. That's going to be group controller. So PHP artisan make controller group controller. Actually, let's remove up HTTP controllers group controller. I'm going to remove this and regenerate it, but I'm going to provide -- API, and I need to generate requests. Do we need resource as well? Resource, let's hit the enter. Let's go into app HTTP controllers. We have this group controller. Let's check requests. We don't see anything inside resources and requests. However, as I remember, there was a flag inside Laravel documentation to generate controller with requests and resources. Let's search for controllers. Make controller. Let's search for -- API. What about -- requests? We have to provide modal as well. This is the case. Let's delete this controller and execute this again. PHP artisan make controller -- modal equals group API requests and resource. Hit the enter. Now it generated request classes. As for the resource, resource wasn't generated. Let's open web PHP. We should put this here. We can obviously group those post-related comments into a single group, the comments into another group. Now let's just copy these parts and we are going to create a new group. We're making post request on the group. Here we need group controller. And we have this index and store and show and update and destroy. I think we don't need show. But we can leave this. Right now we can leave this and delete later if we really don't need it. Let's change this into import. And this is going to be store. And the name will be group.create. So I'm going to make post request on road group create. I'm going to provide the object and I'm going to listen to on success. On success, we're going to get the result and we are just going to print that. And we have on error as well. I'm going to get the result and I'm going to print that. Now let's click here, my first group. Let's click some description. Click on submit. Action is unauthorized. Okay, this is good because inside the store group request, we have this set to false. We can set this into true. Inside rules, we need to provide the name to be required. Needs to be string with maximum. Do we need any kind of maximum? Let's provide 255 as a maximum. However, a similar way how we are generating the username. Let's check this user PHP. We have these get slug options. We're generating slug from name into username and don't generate slug on update. We want something similar for groups. So I'm going to copy this method, go inside group.php and paste this here. However, we need the slug as well. We need the trait has slug as well. So we can put this way. The difference part is that we're going to save this into slug, generate from name, save into slug, and we don't generally do the update, update the slug. So let's now retry this. I'm going to hit on submit. I think that was created. We can check this in the database. In the groups table, it was not created. We probably have some validation errors. I'm not sure. What's that? We don't have errors. We don't have errors, but the group is not also created. Do we have any required fields? Oh, sorry. Probably I'm too tired right now after several hours of recording. Why I expect the record to be created? Can you tell me? Just because I defined the name rule here? Obviously, I don't have the method implemented. Okay, I'm going to take a break after I finish this particular lecture. So we need to define these rules, and we're going to have a couple of fields. Let's put auto approval, which is going to be required, and it is going to be Boolean. And we have about, which is going to be nullable. The group basically has deleted at and deleted by. So if we go into group PHP, we can provide use soft deletes. Okay, good. Now in this group controller, we accept this request. We are going to call group create request validated. We get this validated data. However, we need to put some additional data inside there. So we need to add user ID to be auth ID. Created at and updated at will be set automatically. And I think that's it. So then we can provide the data, which finally will create a group. Okay, but generally the inertia's approach is to redirect users somewhere. So in this case, it simply displays this localhost content. Okay. If I redirect user to the localhost, like if I just return back, for example, then inside this group model, on success, if I simply set show dot value equals false, the modal should be hidden, or we can call this reset modal, or how it's called, close modal. Let's call this close modal. Okay, I'm curious what will happen. So let's provide test here and hit on submit. There's some error. Okay, name is not added inside the fillable, which is obvious error. So let's define fillable here. We need name, we need user ID, we need auto approval, we need about. Okay, let's clear the network, and I'm going to click on submit. No, something happened. Now can we check if the group was created? Yes, it was created. We have name, test, the slug, we have auto approval, about user. Okay, everything is populated, which is good. Now I'm going to try another group like Laravel developers. Okay, some test content. Click on submit. Laravel developers. Okay, cool. So groups are created successfully. I want to test one thing. If I scroll the content, okay, if I scroll a couple of contents and then I create new group, vue.js developers, and hit on submit, basically everything stays here, which is awesome. So we call this go back from the group controller, which internally like works in a way like it should re-render the entire page, because it is simply returning the entire localhost's data. We see the entire posts. Okay, the whole posts are actually fetched. Not very optimal, by the way, but it works, and we don't see any change. Like, if it would obviously re-render entire page, and if the scrolls would be resetted like this, then that would be very bad experience for the user, and we would do this differently. But right now this is okay. To make this even more optimal, I'm going to move this on the right side. By the way, we need this button somewhere here as well. Now I'm going to open this group list. We have this button here, and I am going to put this maybe here. If I zoom out, where should I put? Okay, I'm going to think about the position a little bit later, but for now I'm just going to put this right here. Okay, let's test one more. This is the huge content, which is not ideal. This is what I'm thinking right now. If I can optimize that part, maybe instead of sending form request, if I use Axios client and do post. So I'm going to send post request on the following route. Then I get the response. I can do this console log of response and close the modal. Let's import this Axios client, format the code, and let me test this. A new group, test 3, click on submit. Okay. I don't pass the form, so I need to pass form right here. Test 3, hit on submit. Okay, so we still redirect back, which is something we should change, and we can just response something like just created group, for example. We can return this group with status code 201. Let me trigger this, test, submit, and we got this. Okay, I think this is better approach. We don't want inertia approach in this case. This is much more optimal. But we need a group resource here. So let's just quickly define that. PHP artisan make resource group resource. Let's just open group resource. And what information are we going to return? Let me copy every field. What information are we going to return? We need name slug. This is something we need to take here a little bit later. Auto approval, we need this. About, we need that. The user ID, who created this, we need this. Deleted at, deleted by, we don't need this. Created at and created by, we need this. In the group controller, we're going to return new group resource. Okay, so let's test this once again. Click on this new group, test 5, whatever, click on submit, and the instance of the resource is created. Let's provide some lorem ipsum text here, the body, and the body is also populated. So now our job basically is to display created groups in the following section. And also when the group is created, we have this, where is that? Group users. When that happens, we need to also make a record. When the group is created, we need to put record inside group users. Let's take care of this. Group user data. We need status. We need to define what statuses we have for the group user. We need role and token. We need also to define what roles we have. Let me check if I have a comment in the migration. Group users. Approved and pending. Yeah, I have this comment. Approved and pending. What I need to do is to assign approved automatically. So here, status should be approved. But I'm going to create enum for this. App HTTP enums. Let's call this group user status. That should be enum. It should have string here. It's going to be backed enum. We need case pending and case approved. And we need second enum, which is going to be role, group user role. It is going to be backed enum as well. Case admin and case user. Now, if we go in the group controller, we're going to create group user status. We're going to give it approved value. For role, we're going to give it group user role it should be admin value. What fields do we need? The token, expire date, token used, all that can be null. I obviously need the user ID, auth ID. I need group ID, which is going to be just created group ID. And I need created by, which is going to be again just created user ID. We have created it right here, but we don't have updated it. So we should go inside group user model and disable this updated it. However, let's just create a group user create. We're going to pass group user data, which will return created instance group user. However, we need to provide those fields inside fillable of this group user. Like this. And we need to disable const updated at equals null. Okay, so that group user should be created as well. Now, if I create new group, test 7, click on submit, it should create record in the group users as well. Approved admin, this user group created. Okay, this is good. And now I will query, I will select only those groups for the particular user which has record in the group user table. But the main thing, which is creating of the group, that works successfully. Let me check if I can improve something or if I have to improve something right now. This is a new model. We created new enums. We modified this model. Yeah, I'm okay with everything what we have so far. We're going to take care of this later. One thing which I want to test is just to create group with the exact same name which already exists. If I go in the groups, that the slug will never be, yeah, actually this is already tested. So we created groups with test, but the slug is actually different, and that slug will be used later in the URL to access a specific page, group page in the future. In the next part, we're going to implement rendering those groups on desktop as well as on mobile screens. We're going to adjust responsiveness as well, and we're going to also render additional information, whether the currently authenticated user, what role the currently authenticated user has inside the specific group.